Hi there. You know, Israel's first king was named Saul. He was head and shoulders taller than anyone else in the kingdom. He was handsome. He was strong. He was everything that you'd look for in a leader. I mean, he had the bearing and the countenance of a king. But God chose him as king for a different reason. Samuel asked him at one point in his life, he said, Saul, when you were little in your own eyes, weren't you the head over all the tribes of Israel? And did not God anoint you as the king over Israel when you were little in your own eyes? Saul started out little in his own eyes, but he didn't end up that way. He ended up making monuments to himself later in life, and it was his downfall. God wants us to walk with a spirit of humility. 1 Peter 5, verses 5 and 6 says, be clothed with humility, for God resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. Don't be like the preacher that had this great message on humility, but he was waiting for a big crowd to preach it to. Humility is the state of heart that says, I'm just as content to sit with paupers as with princes. You know, we had a guest speaker in years ago. His name was T.L. Osborne, great missionary statesman, did amazing things around the world, was welcomed around the world, was the guest of kings, of princes. He was considered a dignitary. He was known around the planet, and he came to Cottonwood to speak. And I couldn't believe that he'd accepted the invitation. I mean, I was so excited. And I went to pick him up at the airport, and his first statement to me was, Bayless, what are you doing here? You're far too important to be picking me up. You should have sent someone else. I thought for a minute he must be kidding, but he was serious. And we get to the office. We're sitting in my office before a service, and the janitor thought the office was closed, and he was going to come in and clean it, and he walks in and, oh, I'm so sorry. TL jumps up, walks over to him, puts his hand out, shakes his hand, says, what's your name? Janitor tells him his name, says, my name is T.L. Osborne. It is a pleasure to meet you, sir. You know, when my kids came in the office a little later, you know, he took one of the kids up in his lap. In fact, it was young Spencer, and he was just a little kid. Said, hi, Spencer. I've got room in my heart for you. Do you have room in your heart for me? He was this man that in my estimation was one of the greatest gospel legends in the world. Literally had won millions to Christ and was known globally in his day. And yet he's one of the most humble, sincere people that I'd ever met. And I think that's the kind of heart that God is looking for in us. I'm going to close with this thought. Love works the most. Faith gets the most. But humility keeps the most. My friend, stay little in your own eyes.